Hello everyone, it's Shanna and welcome to my channel. I'm so glad you're here today. Now today I'm going to be working with some brand new Spellbinders product. This is the part of the Birds and the Bee Garden Die Bundle by Susan Tierney Cockburn, and Spellbinders sent me this Spellbinders Black Eyed Susan die set, which is S2376, along with this embossing folder. And we're going to be using it today on our card. We are going to be making a slimline card, which you rarely see me make on my channel, but that's what we're going to be making today because we're going to be using this embossing folder. I'm just going to use some green mint tape to get my card base to stick down. And then I've also cut, my slimline is actually 3.5 by 8.5. So you're going to start out with a paper that is 7 by 8.5 and then score it at the 3.5 mark line. And then I've also got another 3.5 by 8.5 panel here. This is just hammer mill 100-pound cardstock that I'm going to be putting inside this embossing folder and embossing it, and we're going to have a white panel for our card. So I'm just going to go ahead and take this and get this die cut. I have several other things die cut, and we'll get busy and assemble our card. Okay, for our card base, I have embossed that panel, and I actually cut a bit of it off so that I could line it with a black. And this is Spellbinders brushed black cardstock, and I thought it would look nice if I just layered it. So I've got about 1/4 of an inch off of each side so that I could have 1/8 of an inch all the way around. So I'm just going to get it laid down on my card panel, and then we'll begin building our flowers and getting our card put together. So I think this black will look really pretty on there. And I was happy that I had a piece of scrap laying there so that I didn't have to cut up a full sheet of my paper. So I was real happy with that. So I got that laid down, and then this I've already got foam adhesive on the back of it. I like to do that with my embossed panels just to give them some strength, because when you run them through with the embossing folder, it does thin them out a little bit. So I like to sturdy them up and give them some strength. Just gonna pull these off real quickly and get it laid down. I'm really happy to have some time to work with these products. I've been at the beach. We actually kind of have a string of vacations going on, and just got back from the beach, and we'll be home 5 days, and then we're taking off again to another beach. So I'm happy to have a little bit of time to work with these products and make some videos. So I'm loving it. Just trying to get this lined up. I think that looks pretty good. So we've got our embossed folder panel on our brushed black cardstock. I think that is just beautiful in and of itself, but let's get busy working on some flowers. Okay, so I already took my dies to my die cutting machine, and I die cut several out. This one says to die cut 2 out per flower. This one doesn't say. And so I did 10 because I want to do 5 flowers for my card, and hopefully that'll fit. We'll find out. But I'm going to bring in a little bit of my crackling campfire and my blending brush. And I'm just going to put a little bit on here, and I'm just going to kind of blend around my flowers just to add a little bit of definition to them. So just kind of in that center area. Might want to go a little bit lighter. Just going to go a little bit lighter on these other ones. That first one I started off a little bit heavy-handed. So just kind of lightly touch those center areas. I think that'll be fine. We have different variations. Now, I cut these out in yellow, but I think I'm going to cut them out in brown as well. I need to put this up. And so, but I want to just kind of take my orange kind of across that. And I've got this laying on a sticky mat. And I just pulled it right off my die cutting machine and laid it on the sticky mat. So I've got that. And then I've also cut out some green leaves on Spellbinders fern paper. And this is also Spellbinder's paper here. I'll link all of the materials in the description box below so you can check it out. Okay, so all of our die cutting is done, and now we're ready to assemble our flower. And I thought I would just show you how I assemble a flower, and then we'll get our card put together. So basically, I'm just bringing in a little rubber pad, and I've got my tool-in-one from Spellbinders, and I've taken out just my piercing tool, and I've put in this one that has the little bend in it. And then I'm going to just take my flowers, if I can get organized here, and got just a little piece on there. And I'll take this, and I'm just going to follow along. These dies have got these little etchings in them, and I'm just going to follow along that to the end of my flower with this tool. And I'm just kind of scoring it. I'm not really piercing it. I'm just kind of pushing down and scoring it. Now, if you don't have this tool and you have a scoring tool, you could use that as well. But I think this works pretty well. I even tried my scoring tool, and I actually liked this better. So I'm just going to run along here real quickly and score these flowers. And there's two sets of these for each flower. So I did 10 of them because I'm doing 5 flowers. And I found that once I got these scored like this, that I can make easy work out of kind of bending them. So what I'm doing next is I'm just grabbing my tweezers here, and I'm just putting them right on those two, in between those two score lines, and then folding up. Get it right in between those two score lines, fold up. Very simple, works very well. And then it gives your flower a nice little curl that I think would be reflective of this flower. This is taking a minute. And just keep going on the second one. And just keep ending. Okay, so now we've got that. And I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with the leaf, and then we'll assemble everything. So I'm basically going to do the same thing with the leaf. There's already a line in it that you can see on there that comes with the die. And I'm just going to use this and just run it right along there and just kind of further define that score on there. And then I'll just take and just bend my leaves ever so slightly just to give them some dimension. Okay, now I've got all the rest of them done and ready to go, but let's go ahead and assemble this flower. So I've chosen to put my one that has a little bit of darker shading on the outside of it. And then I'm just putting this to where it is, and you can actually pull it up and set it down in there like that, and just making sure I've got it offset and done it like that. And then you have all these little stars. First of all, I did the yellow, but I needed some dark brown, and I did not have any dark brown cardstock that I wanted. So I just took my hammer mill paper and I just ink blended Vintage Photo on there. Actually, I just took the ink pad and just rubbed it right across there. Really didn't blend, just got me some color. So I'm going to start out with these yellow ones and just kind of poke them out. And I want to show you real quickly how we make these. And basically what I am doing is just taking these are like little stars, and I'm just grabbing them with my fine tweezers and just bending them up to where they're like a little cup. Just bending them up. And then I'm just going to glue them down on here. And basically these should stick upward so that they look like little points going up. And then just do that all the way around. So I'll do it with the brown ones exactly the same, only the brown ones I'm going to put in the center. So I'm just going to keep doing this, getting them laid down, and then we'll come back and put together the card. Now you can use this tool as well if you want. What I like to do is just get a bunch of them bent up into that little cup. And then you can take this tool, put a little bit of glue down on there, and I get just a little tiny bit of glue on this tip, and then I can just pick that up and set that right down on there. So I'll put the rest of these on. You can kind of see how it's going. I'm going to put the rest of the yellow ones on, and then I'll put the brown ones on, and then we'll get started. Okay, so now I have all of my little yellow stars in there, and I'm going to do my brown ones. Now I've got them all cupped up, just like I did the other ones, where I took my tweezers and bent them up. I'm going to put just a little bit of glue on my little tool there so it'll pick them up. Put a little bit of glue down here. Hopefully you can see this without my hand being in the way. I'm just setting some glue down. And you can put as many of these on there as you like to just kind of give you that look of the center of the flower. And one of the things that I would have done differently is I would have ink blended the back side of this panel as well. Then I wouldn't have to worry about any white showing through. So I'm positioning mine carefully so that it doesn't have a lot of white showing. And then I'll touch it up with a pen if I need to kind of cover up any white that I don't want to see. But you can add, like I said, just as many or as few of these on there as you want. And it really makes a neat center for the flower. Hopefully I got enough glue on there. Okay, so there is our flower. And we've got all of that in there. So now the last thing I did was I actually took the glossy accent and tried to very carefully add some to it, just to give it a little bit of shine. So I'm just trying to touch it on there. And I'm getting probably more than what I need. It's coming out. And then we'll let that dry. So let's just bring in our card base and we'll start assembling our card. So you can see I've got all these other ones, and my plan was to do 5. These, the glossy accent has dried on, so you can kind of see how that looks. Hopefully you can see. I'm starting to lose some of my lighting. So my thought was I would use this Hello Friend sentiment here. And hopefully I've got some foam, yeah, I've got some foam tape that's narrow enough that I can just put it on there. Find my scissors that just fell. Ready to go. Now what I'm going to do is just place, I'm thinking I want 3 kind of at the top, and I'd kind of like to show that pattern there. And I'm thinking my sentiment is going to go here, and then I'm going to put 2 down here. And I'm thinking that's how I'm going to do it, like that. Add some glue and get it set down. And I think I'll probably want to add my leaves in after I get it laid down. So let's just get this laid down on here how we think we want it. That one on there. My glue's about at the end of its road here. I need to get some more ordered. Press that down. I'm gonna go ahead and get my sentiment down. I've got a little tiny bit of ink there that I think I got off of my finger or something, so I'm gonna make sure I cover that up. Make sure I get that where I want. And this is just a glimmer sentiment that I had. Let's see, is that gonna be all right? I think that's gonna be all right. Then we'll get this one laid down where we want it. And then this one here. And then we'll bring in some of our leaves. And I'm just going to kind of poke those in different spots and see how those look. And we have two sizes of leaves. I'm trying to grab some of the smaller ones to stick in there as well. Let's see. I'm going to use this end here. This is the one that has a little dot on it from the die. And then this one I'm going to cut down a little bit, because I don't have as much landscape to work with over here. Just cut that down a little bit. Tuck that in there. And I think I'll cut another one down. Put it on that side instead. I've been putting it on the top. I should put them on the bottom. I like that. I think that looks good. And tuck that in there. And there's our card. I think it looks fabulous. If you love flowers, you're going to want to get this set. It is just unbelievable. The whole collection, just gorgeous. I hope you like it. If you do, consider giving me a thumbs up. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you stopping by my channel. Thanks and have a great day.